g'day, it's Noxter here, back on the well, it's not the OtlichNew server, it says Creative World, because I'm going to test some things first. But yes, I found some time, the child is resting, the wife is resting, and I'm here. And as you'll see, I've got my journey maps up there. I've got a few mods now, just the ones I had before, Schematica, which I haven't needed yet. But yeah, just getting that set up the last few days when I had time. Schematica, journey maps, the light level one, so I can do that. And I've actually got Optifine now on, which makes things run a bit smoother and makes me able to see really, really far. Oh, that's right, I was going to test out these little picket fence type thing. I was going to experiment. Is that on? Oh, that is on things. Okay, I might use that, but I'll have to see. Anyway, yes, I was going to talk about what I want to build on the server in town, because as I said last episode, I have a huge project in mind, and it's going to take resources and effort that I just don't have the time for. But I also know there's other people on the server who are friendly and great and helpful, and I know that sometimes people get on the server and think, oh, kind of everything's done, I don't know what to do with my life. So I thought maybe we could create the opportunity for those people with spare time on their hands to help those, i.e. me, who don't. So it's going to be like a charity for the time impaired, where I'm going to list resources they need or big holes I need dug out, and people can help. But for decoration, I want to make it look like a little daycare centre, because I have babies on the brain, funnily enough. So I want to just experiment with blocks, pallets. I'm thinking bricks are nice. Most centres I know of, they have like nice kind of homely, warm colour walls and stuff. And yeah, I was thinking this picket fence design, use armour stands. You put glass panes in there to actually block you from walking across them. Because most daycare centres have a fence around so that children can't run around. And it'll probably just a little, one room, probably just like young age group, just because I don't want to build something stupidly huge just for a little charity like this. But yes, I've been a bit inspired. How did I align these ones? I don't remember. This was a tip I got from, I think it was Red Monster or someone like that. But I like that. The only thing is, like, if you think of a good fence that kids can't jump over, you want something about 2 meters high. Or, well, maybe not quite, but at least 1.5. I guess these sticky up bits go to that. They're also pointy, which is probably, a safety hazard. What colour is that most like? Yeah, you'd have to line one up at the edge. So it's a bit of a pain, but that should make it interesting. It should make it stand out, and people go, how the heck did he have a fence like that? Anyway, so something with bricks is nice, at least for the exterior. I thought maybe some of the white terracotta with that off-pink colour looks nice and kind of friendly for a nursery type vibe. I was just going to experiment with end bricks. Again, I'm using my texture pack at the moment, maybe stone bricks as well, but I want something with a bit more colour and warmth to it. Possibly sandstone, or of the red variety. I'm going to end up needing charitable people to come and deliver me supplies just to build the charity. Alright, I'm going to experiment with things and I'll get back to you. I kind of like what here's going on. I kind of like what I've got going on here so far. This is not the actual layout of the thing, we're just testing the concepts. So, kind of got this granite brick pathway. Again, there'll be that fence around there and probably a yard somewhere out back too. But birch door, we're using the terracotta there. Interior walls, I thought maybe this green, so we often have a little bit of a colour for a feature wall, or for some of it. And this is like the cot room. Obviously there will be grass for the carpet, but these little cots use beds and surrounded with trapdoors. And I can kind of squeeze 4 in this pattern, like that. Yeah, kind of like that going. I've got the tinted windows so that when you're out in the main part of the room, you can still look in and make sure they're, all still breathing and that. Seems pretty good so far. Let's see what else we can figure out. I think I've come up with a pretty decent design for a high chair. If you put a banner, well, this one's used as a carpet, so it doesn't work so well. Because I thought, first of all, for the main area, you have this tiled floor for the areas where you're going to be eating at or doing anything messy, but carpet for the rest of the room. But so that's why carpet doesn't really work for high chair. But if you have a banner, it has to be a wall banner for this one, whereas this one can use a floor banner as long as it goes on carpet. So you need something behind it. So you could have a banner on the wall or a sign or some other block surreptitiously hidden, whatever. And yeah, it's just an iron helmet. It looks alright in my texture pack. It looks even better in the default. Let's just see. See if that changes. Yeah, it just looks like there. You can't hardly get even the little arches over where the eyebrows of the helmet go kind of look like, you know, little divots for where the legs would sit. Obviously, there's kind of no like tray, because normally a good high chair has a tray, so I don't know about that. How would it look like if we did some kind of table as well? Right. So if you did that kind of table, ooh, that's a really bit. It's a bit. Definitely too high for that. Which is funny because that's a high chair, so that should be higher than the average table. But that's good. It shows it's a small size chair, and that's actually not a bad chair design just for regular chairs. Interior. I've just discovered something. But you need a short table for it. So I need to figure out how to do a short table. Obviously you can do something like a daylight sensor. But that's almost too short. Or even just a slab. And obviously the problem with all of these is there's nothing underneath. So we need a kind of block that can go at half the height of a block. But, like, so you can do this if it was over a slab floor, which, well, then the banner wouldn't line up. So you want something that sits, I mean, possibly we could use another armor stand, actually. What if you had an armor stand underneath that was, say, this height? Or, you know, tweak it with carpets or whatever. You'd push the floor down with a piston. Like... And... Right. So we've got an armor stand, and we just need something he can wear on his head. Like a pumpkin, for example. That doesn't really look like a table at all. Maybe best doing just another kind of armor. Or helmet. Or could we use gold? Just give it a bit of contrast. It's not terrible. I mean, it's a pretty small table. But, like, obviously you could do all kinds of other blocks if, you know, you use commands, but you can't put those on in basic survival mode, which is annoying. I'll keep experimenting. I might find something. I thought, if the floor's at a slab height, then this is actually more the height of an actual high chair, so that looks pretty good. Again, we can't really figure out how to do a tray on top. Obviously that place is all taken. And this table looks kind of alright for a small, you know, kid-sized table. You could possibly stick an armor stand under the floor to look like the legs of it as well, or just actually put stairs in the floor would be the other alternative there. So it could look like something like that, for example, or that. Of course, the trouble is then you can't really blend into the carpeted section so well. So unless we use something different for carpet, like we could use, for example, I mean, that stacked it up a little bit, but then you got this kind of big tripping hazard, which they kind of avoid having those in nurseries, or they're expecting little babies to be running around. You could do this if you want a smoother sort of carpet. Again, all this stuff makes it good to make this kind of furniture, but it's going to be worse for having, you know, stuff around on the floor, and in this case, lighting as well. What else could we do? Daylight sensors. It's expensive flooring, and again, that's not soft. That might be a nice. That could actually, you could do that instead of the slabs here to be a nice, you know, tiles or whatever. I don't know. I'll keep experimenting. Discoveries. First of all, putting the armor stand on a chest down here is the perfect height for something to be a little stool to the table. In my texture pack, the gold helmet is very busy. But that could almost look like some kind of toy on the floor, so you could use that later somewhere. I don't know how well that would work. But other helmets are available, or as experimenting with heads. That's really the only one that's feasible to get actually in vanilla, unless we have any tweaks. We might actually add the mob head stuff, so we could see how they'd look as well. I tried the wither skull. Again, that's pretty expensive, but you know, something like that. Be a little chair. And yeah, I remembered, of course, the falling sand trick. So with concrete powder, that's the same colour as the grey carpet I had. In this version, I haven't updated my texture pack. So in my new one, I've actually got a new texture for this. So it kind of looks a bit too detailed for my texture pack, but that's alright. Of course, the problem with this is you can fall through it, but if you push trapdoors in it at that right height, you can still see it. You sink a little bit, but you can just pretend it's like, I don't know, really soft, squishy carpet, which you know, in a room full of babies, definitely sounds like a suffocation hazard. But that's alright. The other thing is, of course, with the slab height floor, then the window is kind of down by your ankles, which, again, babies climb up and fall off. But having the windows up at this height is... Can I see them? Can I see them? So it's a bit awkward. And of course, getting to the doors, you have to have a little step down. What can you do? I guess maybe you could have like one of those little baby gate fences across here, sealing that off. Like, you could do trapdoors, so maybe you could seal the raised area off from the lower one, so at least you don't have that tripping hazard. Something like that. That is definitely low enough that a baby could easily climb over that. And if you did that, it's just too high and feels too oppressive for everyone. So maybe have a look at that. Or I could, again, do that picket fence idea, like I was saying over there, across there. That could work. Experiment with that. I think for most of the rooms, though, yeah, it'll just have normal floor heights. Yeah, just over here, we'll do that one. That's not too terrible, actually. It gives the impression, at least. How could I do that? The other option is, ooh, acacia doors have that nice framework to them. So they look a lot like little fences. Just the fact that they're a bit too high from this side. And even higher from this side. So, and of course we don't have the different kinds of trapdoors yet. But we might. But yeah, once we do, I might use that for these. I think they'll look similar. I haven't actually textured them yet. Anyway, let's think about some of the other rooms and maybe revisit this idea. Okay, a couple of new things I've been adding is, one is the bathroom and the outside area. Once again, this is not the actual final layout, we're just looking at the designs for things. So the bathroom, you got your window back into the cot room and out into the room itself. Like, again, layout might work a little bit differently, so you can kind of keep an eye on what's going on when you're in here. Yeah, so little bench, you got a sink for bathing, which probably should not be full of water all the time, but maybe we could take the level down decorationally, obviously. Everything's decorational. This will be like more of a hand washing sink, and you've got that which would be like a soap dispenser or maybe a paper towel or something. Use your imagination. You've got a changing mat for changing nappies on, and cupboards underneath. Cupboard up here for, you know, storing your chemicals and whatnot. On a little shelf. So there's that. That's kind of the bathroom area, and maybe tweak that, add a few more other things to that. I was also thinking, like, one thing lots of daycare centers have is like artwork strings across the roof. I don't know. Some people think that's a bad idea because, hey, you stuff up in the roof, that's not where the kids are looking their way down here, and various reasons. But it's a fairly common thing, and yeah, so don't know whether I'd have it at this height, or maybe some of each, but you can put different things. Like that looks like just a splotch, and that's a squiggle, which is kind of the artworks you expect to find in a nursery. The outside area. Would have preferred to have like sliding doors here, but you can't really do sliding doors, but this kind of looks like glass opening doors. Thought maybe a concrete area with probably a bit more of a veranda. I'd probably do. Again, the layout is not the final thing. I'll have to look at the actual site I choose, and this is all very flat, but might be built onto, you know, unlevel terrain. But yeah, it's just experimenting different blocks here. But yeah, you've got a shade cloth, you've got a boat, you know, for, obviously it wouldn't be a real boat, it would just be a thing for kids to climb on and play in. Some kind of little tunnel / climbing frame, a sand pit. Again, we've done the falling sand on fence tricks and the trapdoors so that you can kind of sink in there a little bit. And obviously there's sand outside the sand pit because that's just what you expected. Yeah. On my new texture pack, I've made the string less visible than this, but I have, of course, again, this is still the old version because I'm just updating it in the new one. So, because yeah, it's a bit too obvious like this. There's no transparency to it because when I drew it, I didn't realize this texture had transparency, so I didn't think it needed it. And then yeah, I fixed that. All right. Yes. I guess we need probably like an office for doing the paperwork, some kind of little kitchenette, and probably an actual kitchen maybe. I don't know if a small center. Like again, it's one room, so they might just have combined both things in one, probably. One room, an office. We need a staff room and maybe staff bathrooms as well, because, you know, staff need to have their breaks. And we need actual space for the actual function of the place to be served and have requests for things that I need, because remember, this is, it looks like a daycare, but it's actually a charity for the time impaired. So I'll figure those details out. Maybe get back to you. Maybe this is the end of the episode. Who knows? Yeah, I'll probably get back to you. Maybe. Cool use of those banners. I like that. Oops. Ah, good old wool farm. I'm thinking maybe this area here might work well. So they're just in this corner here. Have the yard kind of like there, maybe. Building here. Maybe across the back. Maybe entrance, possibly. Or entrance over here. Somewhere in that space. Might level out this ground a little bit. I'll have to mark it off and reserve it. And get some actual supplies. Anything is, yeah, it kind of fits in nicely on the corner there, I like. In the centre of town. We've got whoever's dirt house that was, Gambler Zeros. I don't know if it's going to stay that, just for the lols, or if anything interesting is going to come of that. But yeah, that seems to be an available space. I might mark it off. Maybe plant some of these birch trees, because I'll need a few of those, as well as probably other types. But I'll just kind of generally watch out for creepers, because I have no weapons. Well, back again, and we've had just a couple of setbacks, because turns out the server isn't pure vanilla, but it's running a bucket, which likes to fix a few little glitches, which we technical players like to exploit to do fun things. So for example, the floating sand on the fences trick didn't work anymore. So over here where I was going to have that grey concrete powder that looks like nice soft carpet, I've had to use nether bricks instead. But, you know, that could still be a sort of nice carpety sort of pattern, so it's, yeah, passable. And it makes it less of a pain to build the whole floor out of it and things like that. So there's good sides as well. And, you know, less entities polluting the world. Because, you know, there's already got quite a few armor stands having around. So, yeah, there's ups and downs. And the sand pit I've just had to replace with sandstone, which doesn't look quite as good, but it still gets the idea across. On the other hand, for the future plans, it's made things a little bit more tricky indeed, because, like I said, I had a huge project in mind, but that would have cost lots and lots of sand and concrete powder to make. Not to mention the amount of digging need to be done, which I was hoping to use TNT quarries for, but I'm pretty sure those won't work either. And yeah, the sand duplication, I tested that doesn't work in this version, and it's a really bit of a bummer, because, yeah, it was a stupidly huge project, and doing it, you know, with all that added tech, and with the help of everyone else working together, might have been a bit of a reality. But doing it without the added tech, even if I do get everyone to help, like, it's stupid. We need, last estimate, I think, probably at least 30 double chests full of sand, well, glass. So we're talking about probably an entire desert's worth. And again, it could be a long-term project, like a few months, maybe even a year or two, but I don't really want to bother. And that's just to set up the bounding area of the area to actually build the base in. So the whole thing would have been a completely lovely handcrafted environment, but I don't have the time to do that. But I've had another idea what I can do instead of that, that's still related, same build style as I was going to build in that environment, but in a natural environment instead. And it can still relate, I guess, story arc-wise to the plot, as much as there was one of the area. So I might still do something similar and have all the awesome stuff I've planned for, but different. But talk more about that on next episode. Anyway, so this is how my building's going, and like I said, it's kind of got two purposes. Mainly, actually, I'm more focusing on the decorational side of being a nice little childcare centre with, you know, just a single room. And I also had the idea of, you know, that charity that I was going on about, and again, that won't be quite so necessary anymore because I'm downscaling that project significantly, but I'll probably still maybe help out. But I don't know, maybe I'll just forget about that and just have a nice little daycare centre in the town to give the place some atmosphere. I'd also love it if I could get like some baby villagers running around in here. That would be awesome. But of course, the problem with baby villagers is they grow up too quickly, much like real kids, but even quicker. So yeah, I could use baby zombies instead, and they wouldn't. You just have to watch they didn't eat your face. Much like real children. So yeah, there's a few options. Maybe I could do something there. But I don't know if I'll bother because, I don't know, it's pretty nice as is. Anyway, I'm going to call that a day for this episode, and I'll talk more about stuff on the next one. See ya!